Hey folks, how you doing? Just gonna turn that light down a touch. It's a little hot. That's better, I think. There we go. Hopefully you're hearing everything okay. Going to do the live streams at this time of night instead, which is 9 p.m. New Zealand time, and the various times I've put in that post on my YouTube channel. I think it just works better for me. I'm really not a daytime guitar player, you know, I'm a nighttime guy, like years of doing gigs and stuff, so yeah, hopefully you're hearing everything. And I'm going to play some fusion stuff. This is a jazz funk fusion backing track in A minor, 120 beats per minute. It's by Slow Hand Records. I played along to this track before, I'm sure of it. I must have done. Yeah. Oh, before I do, doing a couple of things a little different than normal. I have a different camera. I'd normally use my main camera up there, but it's driving me nuts. It seems to switch itself off after a while if nothing happens. So if you have to kind of go like that to the lens to kind of wake it up. Annoying. Also too, there's a lot of moire patterns where the strings look like they're wobbly and stuff, you know, so I switched over to this. I think it looks okay for and I'm running through that amp. That is a Fender Blues Junior. They sent two of them out actually. The other one's over there, which is the 30th anniversary model, and this one is the limited edition model. Kind of the same amp as far as I know, but different speakers. This one's got a flash handle. So I'm just going to use that. It's been picked up by my microphone right here, so it does sound a little bit distant, but hopefully it sounds good. That's fun. Hey Troy, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining me. Hey Nick, how you doing? Nick says, hi Nick, caught you live for the first time. It's 10 a.m. in Old Blightly. Oh, awesome. Greetings, great stuff as usual. Thank you. Keep it Kiwi. Do you guys call them kiwi fruit? Right, because we do. And it's sort of, the rest of the world calls it kiwis, right? The fruit, that is. It's that little Fender, the little Blues Junior that Fender sent out to check out. So, and I mentioned I got another one there too, which is the 30th anniversary, which I'm not running through at the moment. This is the limited edition ones. Oh, Flight of the Conchords. Those guys live locally. They live in Wellington. They're here. I saw Jermaine Clements riding his bike around the central city the other day, and he was, there's the guy was like the main guy and main bad guy in Men in Black, riding his bike around the city. Nobody says or does anything. And Brett McKenzie I've met a couple of times. I don't really know him very well, but when my daughter was born, we went to some breastfeeding classes. As you do. Obviously, I'm not the one breastfeeding, although some would say maybe I should. Man boobs. But we were there at these breastfeeding classes, and Brett McKenzie was there as well, because his daughter, I think, is the same age as my daughter. His guitars started buzzing a bit. Man, winter messes with guitars in New Zealand. These things roar. Basically, the thing about doing a Moobs. Yeah, exactly, Nick. I've been thinking about doing a video about how to get the best sound out of these Blues Juniors, because a lot of people kind of don't know how to deal with them. Someone tells them, get a Blues Junior, they're great amps. They buy one and they get it home and they're like, ugh, don't know what to do. So I was thinking, like, there is a bit of a secret. I can't really turn this up, it's going to kill my mic, but I'll turn the mic down. Check this out. Now, I don't know how long I can get away with that at 9 o'clock at night, but running it on 4, it's a great clean sound. It's actually just like pretty loud. So yeah, let me know if you think that would be useful. Yeah, I mean, New Zealand, the interesting thing is I see those guys around all the time and nobody really gives a shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like, I mean, they're famous, but it's not like America, which has a real obsession with celebrities. We're not kind of not like that in New Zealand. And our Aussie mates are like that too, as Troy will attest, I'm sure. Maybe Australia is a bit in Sydney, I don't know. But in the rest of the place, like, people just see people as people. They're the same as everyone else. So they're just people like everyone else. Whereas imagine if it was in LA, kind of go crazy. We had a good friend of mine is mine and our family is bit of more than a bit of a celebrity, very much a celebrity. I'm gonna tune people because I can't stand out of tune. And that he is a stalker. Sorry, I just can't stand out of tune. All that bending. Yeah, they're stalkers, and they have he had someone try and kidnap his daughter and shit. It's just like, whereas here it's like, man, Brett McKenzie's daughter goes to my daughter's school and I see him around all the time. It's like nobody really. It's just different part of the different way of seeing the world. And New Zealand's a really pretty place. You should come sometime, Nick, if you get a chance. Thanks, Troy. Jazz fusion track. So it's like the verse vamp is like an A minor to D7 thing. So, you know, kind of Dorian approach, right? But I'm also kind of trying to get some movement within that, because it gets boring real quick if it's just kind of like this sort of stuff. But I'll try and get... Right, so there, that's like harmonic, melodic minor, you know. Right. Right, so that's like D minor 7 flat 5, E7 sharp 9. I'm implying these changes over that other change, and then like a big fat B flat 7 sharp 11, so Lydian dominant. Getting back, you know. So I'm kind of looking for ways to weave between it, you know. A lot of that. Right, that. A altered into the D7. So you kind of treat the D7 like it's the 1 chord. But then also, right, I'll put that over. Whole tone. And then the other changes, I think, were F, E minor, A minor, D7. And on the E minor, I often made it that. Cheers, Troy. And there was another one that was that. And I pretty much ignored that chord every time. You know, every time it hit that, I was like... That's a cool sound. You know, take a cell, I guess you call it a cell, but a little on that tritone sub thing, and then play around it. I like the whole tone to scale too on an altered chord. So on that I'll play and then just move it. Man, I was watching this video before. This guy Nicky V, he's a Nashville guitar player. Good guitar player, sounds good. A studio guy over there. And he did this thing about how to set up your Strat. And I thought, well, that's exactly what I want to check out, you know. He had some really interesting things. He talked about the angling your claw, the back of the guitar, and then the other things he talked about were like how to set up your tremolo. He talked about how he sets up the intonation slightly flat, like 1 cent flat, not exactly to the, you know, because he said when you play up here, most people when they set up the intonation they go and they play it light, right, and then when you dig in you make it go sharp, right? So he sets it for 1 cent flat so that when he digs in, it's still in tune. Now, you know, stuff like that is great. But I left a comment saying about, I do the angled claw thing too, right? Like Jeff Beck, instead of being straight, Jeff Beck would angle it. Some knucklehead got on there and started arguing. I was like, man, come on. And the guy was talking about how the tremolo, I was saying, you know, it drives me nuts how these kind of, can you hear that noise? It's even worse if I kind of loosen it out a bit. Like that. Yeah, that. But the guy was saying, oh, just don't take your tremolo out. It's like, you got to take it out and put it in your case, you know. Nick says, I've been thinking about taking some one-on-one virtual lessons with you. Yeah, sure, man. You get a move from the pentatonic rock player with chops, i.e. low musical proficiency, to jazz player. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's a common thing that a lot of people come to me with. You know, yeah, that you know, kind of they're bored of their same playing. Which, if you look on the internet, you'll see a heap of lessons. Troy's done some fantastic lessons. You guys should all go and subscribe to his channel too. It's awesome if you haven't already. But a common thing you see is a lot of people do lessons about pentatonic because a lot of people are kind of stuck on pentatonic. They sort of don't know how to progress beyond that, you know. That looks worse. I should have left it alone. Yeah. There we go. Nah. It's going to bug me if I leave it. Yeah, the guy was a knucklehead. He also tried to say that Jeff Beck doesn't do that with his trem. It's like, whatever. Another thing I did quite a bit in that little jam-along thing was I like playing like chords over solo stuff, you know? So like I did that rhythm solo bit. But even when I'm soloing single note lines, I try and play chords out of things. Yeah, Nick, so send me a message either on Facebook or Instagram or email me. That's probably your easiest way because my website's down at the moment. Some asshole's got it now. But I like to play chords in amongst that stuff, you know what I mean? If you're playing Dorian, you know, play chordal voicings. These things are just chords built off fourths. So if I take an A, D, G, C, you get chord, you could call it A minor 11 if you want to. I'm not even thinking that, I'm just thinking that note, and that's all the other notes that fit in it. And then work your way backwards or forwards. Forwards probably makes most sense to start with. That'll be your next one. That'll be your next one. Be your next one. In fact, I even think I did that in that rhythm solo. Really like parallel movements. I don't know why I didn't do any parallel movements in there, but I like stuff like that. You know, that sort of stuff. Gotta remember to keep not get my volume too high. You can hear it clipping the microphone. Sorry about that. Nick says, yeah, I'll message you for jazz lessons and get a Turkish stripper. Don't tell the wife, Nick. Lol. I mean, I'd be more impressed if the person who bought my website actually did like escort agency stuff, right? But they don't. It's just a fake page, you know. I've actually emailed them and said, can I buy my website back from you? And I'll give you what you paid for it. No reply. This is Spacey Fusion guitar backing track in C# minor. This is the Jammin' backing tracks, which, as you all will know, I'm a big fan of their tracks. I think they're awesome. That's better. And it looks wonky on the roof. No, whatever. These little Blues Juniors are pretty good amps though, eh? As long as you get the upgraded speaker one. This is the limited edition, so they put a different speaker in it. And this one here, which you can see down there, it's kind of dark in this shot, but it's got a cool covering on it, nice handle and stuff. That's got a Celestian cream back in it, and that sounds better than the other one, I think, because of the speaker. But both of them sound too new. Do you guys find that with amps, if they've got new, the speaker's got to break in, you know? So these amps need to be cranked for a bit. So I actually took that one to a gig on Saturday. I did a Western Swing gig. Yeah, I know. Western Swing, right? Essentially like country, but with jazz guitar over it. I'm like, well, I can do that. But it was a lot of stuff like... a lot of those sort of grooves, you know. Lots of boom chuck, as we like to call it. Yeah, let's try this. I played this track before. Let's go on. Playing that stuff. Oh, cheers. Thanks, Nick. Seems like this time might work out a bit better for people, yeah? Maybe. Yeah, I think I will do a video on how to get the best out of these little amps there, because they're a common amp that people have to play through, right? I mean, I do. There's a video of me playing with Chris Kane on YouTube, the American blues guitar player, and I was playing a gig. It was Wellington Jazz Festival, I think, and I just finished backing a singer, I think it was, and so I was like, I have to go and see Chris Kane's gig, and he's playing with a quartet playing blues, and Chris was like, Nick, come up and play. So I get up, and I'm like, all right. So I took my Talman, which is over there. It's kind of the Ibanez Tally Strat type guitar. And I had that on my back because I just finished my gig. And of course I get out and play. So I get there, and the way Chris plays is he just turns the amp up full. It's basically what he does, right? He just, whatever amp it is, Fender Twin, dimes it, you know. Freaking fantastic. Amazing guitar player. And then I get there, he's got a Hot Rod DeVille, you know those things, the two 12-inch speakers. It's like 60 watts, and he's dimed it. Sounds freaking fantastic. 335, no pedals, just straight in and dimes it, you know, to get his tone. And I get there, and there's a Blues Junior. And I got to sit in, and I'm like, oh, shit. And it's like distorting from the beginning. So I got the sound guy to give me a little bit in the monitor, so I at least stood a remote chance of getting anything going. It seems better there. But yeah, there is a way to set them to kind of get the best of them, I think. Because they can sound really good. Oh, g'day. How you doing, man? I've been doing that a lot lately. Instead of, I think I mentioned that I've changed picks, right? I'm using these Dunlop Prime Tones, the .96. Really like these. These are great. They're not cheap. Unfortunately, they're $17 for 3. So, you know, go figure. Compared to like most picks, which are a couple of bucks each, you know. For $20 you can get 10 of them. But anyway, you know, for a long time my warm-up has kind of been this. And variations of it, right? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then repeat it. So start from the first finger, second finger, third, fourth, first, second, third, fourth. Right, I used to do stuff like that and do patterns, you know. It's really about getting the two hands to talk to each other, and then normally my warm-up would be like some kind of rhythm guitar thing, and I'd do this sort of stuff to get my right hand kind of working, you know what I mean? That sort of stuff. And then usually what I do is I play whatever the music is I was going to do. If it was a concert where I'm playing blues, I play some blues, jazz, even classicals, get the occasional classical thing that I'll do. So I'd kind of get that. But that was about getting my head in the right space. But what I've been doing lately, instead of doing that, I've been doing this. You probably, some of you guitar players will know. That one, right? Which you... Can't remember... something like that. Whatever it is, you know. From Crossroads. But there was that... It's a really good warm-up for your pick. You can play it anywhere. Still not used to these picks, but they're getting there. But I've been using that as a warm-up, and then I've been finding that's really helpful, like just to play something different, you know? Because I think what happens is once you start doing this all the time, one, it's not really music, but it's too repetitive in pattern. Whereas this, it's like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and that one there's 3 notes on the string, and then 3 notes, and then 1. So I'm going to have to think about picking a little bit. I've noticed too, since I've been playing the Strat, that getting a bit more tension in my shoulders. I've got to remain relaxed. Man, getting old is no fun. I'm only 46, still. Simon, you made it. Awesome. Perfect. I had an idea. So Simon left a comment on my YouTube channel earlier today talking about how he's been working on the triad stuff based on that triad lesson I did. So that's awesome, mate. I really appreciate that you left that feedback. And he mentioned he was applying it to Blue Bossa, so I thought I'd show how I would do something like Blue Bossa. Thought it might be useful, you know. So your first chord, C minor, right? We'll just take the basic triads. All right. So there I've got G, C, E flat, right? C minor, triad. And then F minor triad. Well, I could go. Sounds okay, but wouldn't it be better to... And then the D minor 7 flat 5, well, don't move. Right. And then to get to G7, to go. It's not really a triad, but kind of. It's just straight C minor. And not even minor 7, just real basic. C minor, F minor, D minor 7 flat 5, G7. Now that's not really a triad, but I'm treating it kind of the same, right? I just moved from this one I was on here to that. Right? And then, right. Another way of looking at that, well, kind of the same way of looking at that, right? The D minor 7 flat 5 is like F minor over D, so let's just call it as such. G7 is like having B minor flat 5, that, right, minor, the flat and the 5. So now, F minor, right. Now, you want to take that further. Simon mentioned there C minor 9, right? Well, instead of, do this. It's one thing I do like about this camera better. There we go. Instead of this, take your root note, just move it up to the 9th, because you don't need the root note, right? You've taken your triad, used it as your starting point. Right, there you have G, D, E flat. F minor, well, we don't need the root note F, move it up to G. So we've taken our triads and we're using them as a structure to kind of see this, right? Sorry. Would be right. So E flat minor. It kind of looks like that, but just make the instead of the root, move it up to the 9th. Instead of go. Much cooler. So there I just went F minor over D flat. So there F minor triad it, and just so see wherever your root note is and just move it up. Move it up. So there's that B minor flat 5 over the G. Alright. It's my A flat. Right, just triad. But a flat 9 in there would be cool. That's an interesting one, right? D minor 7 flat 5, we'll just play D minor and a flat 5. Right, D minor triad. And then move that down. B minor with a flat 5 over the G. And then there I decided instead of going back to C minor, I'll take the 5th and move it down to the 11th. Yeah, that's not a triad, but I'm kind of treating it such. I'm picturing that and then moving it down. That's the kind of thing that worked real well in the Latin part. that's what I was thinking. There's a C minor triad. When I play Blue Bossa, I kind of feel like playing that tune now. Yeah, I hope that helps. Just, you can see the thinking. I start with a simple triad and then I go, okay, which notes don't I need? Oh, well, I don't really need the root note. So I go, okay, well, I'll move the root note up to the 9th or down to the 7th or something like that. Then I've taken a simple chord structure and kind of expanded on it. And of course, you can have inversions with all of this, you know, instead of just, whoops, sorry. Instead of just that, I can go any one of those. Or any one of those. But, of course, something I haven't talked about is if you spread them out, instead of 1 flat 3 5, go 1 5 flat 3. Right? It's a little bit of a different structure. Same thing. Right? Or kind of interesting in that instance. That's 2 root notes. What am I doing? That's what I should have done. You can see how you can see just by all of that sort of melodic structure that I'm actually thinking about the triads when I'm playing and trying to make a musical idea with them instead of it just being an exercise. I'm going to find a backing track for Blue Bossa. Or as my buddy used to say, Blues Bossa. Because you... Yeah, perfect. Yo, Ben Shepherd, how's it going, bro? This is Learn Jazz Standards. While we're talking about Blues Bossa, I'm going to play Blues Bossa, but over this Learn Jazz Standards track. I'll try and play some of that stuff I was talking about. Hopefully it helps. So you can hopefully saw out of all of that I was really trying to get right inside those triads out of that, right? And what the triads do is it really opens up the guitar neck, and I'm glad that a lot more people are talking about that kind of stuff now, because it really is useful, you know. I spent a lot of time with triads, and you know, it's just great. It's a real guitar thing that works great on guitar, you know. The backing track is Learn Jazz Standards by Blue Boss to play along. It's just on YouTube. You know, that stuff that Brian May does in that kind of funky guitar, but it's just triads. I never hit the note that hard. Quite like that. Yo, Ben says, do you wet and dry guitar rigs like Lee Jackson does? Lee's got this picture of his guitar in the bath, and he's got a toothbrush out, and he's like, you know, pretending to clean it with a toothbrush. Bloody idiot. Love it. So wet dry setup. So one amp with effects and one not. No, I don't. I generally just use one amp actually, but now that I got these two Fenders, I got that one down there, which is the little, hopefully that you can see that there. That's the 30th anniversary Blues Junior, and this one here, which is the limited edition. I got them both here. I was like, I'm tempted to take them to my gig, and actually on Friday I'm playing with Blaine's band at Library Bar in Wellington, and we'll be playing some funky shit because that's what those boys do. It's about Jacob Randall playing drums. If you guys don't know Jacob Randall, ridiculously good. It'll be fun. And Blaine's a bad boy himself. So we'll be playing some funk music, and I thought, why don't I take both the amps and just plug them in? But I haven't really got any way of splitting it. Although I'm going to try it with my Flint, because my Flint sometimes with some amps will actually split to 2 amps out and remove the hum. But then other amps it doesn't. Like if I use my Bassman and my Deluxe, the Flint will split it in stereo and remove the hum. No, I usually just run everything into the front of them. So it's dual mono, and you're just getting the same effects with everything's pretty much how I've always done it. The wet dry wet setup is not the easiest. Wet dry wet or wet and dry, you know, is not the easiest to kind of make work. If you guys don't know who Ben Shepherd is, go and check out his channel, Bass with Benjamin. Fantastic channel. He's offering a lot of really good information, and you've got by someone who's actually done it, you know, not just someone, you know, a lot of cowboys on YouTube. Have you guys noticed that? I heard someone the other day giving advice about something on YouTube, and I was like, dude, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about, you know? Like, and the guy saying this stuff was talking about it as if he'd done it, but he hadn't, and it was clear he hadn't, right? So then it's like, well, if you're talking about something that you're doing, but you've not actually done it, then how do you know that's the right thing for someone else to learn? Yeah, it's just crazy world. Recording, yes, sometimes, no, recording, I actually, it's even more stripped down. Most of the time it's often just guitar into amp or guitar into Fractal, and just go real simple. And then what I do is I layer parts. So if I want delays on something, for example, I'll do 2 or 3 parts, and one will have the delay and the other 2 will be dry, and you know, and pan 1 hard left. And whenever I do that, when I track multiple parts for people when I do sessions, and just do them in my studio here, which is why I have all my guitars set up like that, so I can go and grab one quickly, bang, part down. When I do that, what I find really helps is to use a different guitar for each track. Because if you do them all with a Strat, say for example, they all can just sound the same. So I'll use different guitars for that reason. So like a Strat and a Tele, or a Strat and a Les Paul, and that can be really great. Or even the Porry Smith, you know, that's here, that one. Because P90s, you know, they really don't sound like a single coil. And then I find that the blend of things becomes quite different. And I'll put effects on one of the takes, you know, and not the others. Ron Cup says, when you play live gigs like this upcoming funk gig, do you guys do a couple of rehearsals, or do you guys just share the playlist beforehand and just get there and improvise? Good question. So this funk gig, there will be no rehearsal and there will be no playlist. We'll turn up and we will play. That's it. That's all that's going to happen. That's as much as I know about the gig. I know who's on the gig, and even then, half the time I don't even know that. You know, it could be I've turned up to those gigs before and there's a trumpet player there and not a saxophone player, and you're like, okay. But, you know, I mean, collectively we all know a lot of the same tunes, so I know for a fact we're probably going to play that SCO tune Hottentot. Pretty much every gig I've done with those guys, we end up doing it. So maybe I might jam on that for a little bit. Probably going to play... Jungle Boogie and Funky Duck and things like that, you know. It'll be just like jamming tunes, you know, it'll be fun. I'll try and post some video if I can, actually. Those guys are usually right into that stuff, so some musicians are not particularly cool with that. In fact, let's see if I can find that. Where is? But most musicians are nowadays trying to kind of get that, you know. Everyone's trying to make this work, you know what I mean? Sorry, I forgot to mute the channel so you're hearing the adverts. So this is Schofield's tune Hottentot, which we're going to do. Hey Leo, how you doing? Yeah, I'm going to see, I'll see if I can film some of it. Maybe I'll do another one behind the scenes, because it's just a little club gig. It's quite different from that kind of sports awards thing that I showed. And I got another one. I recorded one the other day. We played at the Bond Street, the Bond store, sorry, which Simon was at. And so it was good to see them in. Thanks for coming. And I've recorded some video, and Simon recorded a version of us playing All Blues. And I played it with that in between. Yeah, it was fun, you know. Anyway, this is Hot and Top. Hopefully this is the right backing track. We shall see. And hopefully the level's good. Here we go. Yeah, so we'll probably play that song. That's one that those guys like to have called a few times on gigs, but it's often different. And actually, the last gig we did, someone called Caravan, and we played the tune Caravan. You all know that tune, right? Yeah, and they had this crazy arrangement of it where they had this groove that was a 9 that was sitting underneath it, and then they just play it, and I'm like, so I started off like trying to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, just feel it, right? And you kind of go with the groove. Oh, here's another one. This will be fun. Just before the ads. Yeah, it is the Avishai Cohen version. And, you know, so you get that kind of sprung on you. That's what you got to do. And then the jazz club, we're playing Wellington Jazz Club on Sunday. So 2 gigs this week, which is good because it's been quiet and it's winter and it's sort of, and it's Wellington, which at the moment is going through a rough time. But But we're playing Wellington Jazz Club with Hot Cafe, which is a gypsy jazz band that I play with Lee Jackson, Nick Brown, and I think Nick Tipping's playing bass. I'm assuming it is. So we'll be playing gypsy stuff, you know. Yeah, yeah, I mean, normally I'd have 2 gigs a week this time of year, but lately, man, I had 1 gig this weekend and that no gigs the weekend before, and it's been, well, it's pretty dead, man. Let's try Chank. Let's see I don't know what this track's like. This is by Mondo Kane. John Schofield, Chank, backing track, play along for guitar. Which I like this tune, it's a cool tune. I see, okay. Maybe the level's a bit low. Can't hear the click. Really low level, that track. Let's turn that up. Let's do that again. It's like marking time like so quietly that's nearly impossible to hear. Hopefully it starts in a minute. Okay, that backing track just gives you no cues about anything when it's happening. Just like, there's the change. It was a little bit of a drum fill, but just like, you know. not have time to set it up or anything. Yeah, Ben says, what if you and Lee turned up to a Hot Cafe gig with your Strats? Yeah, wouldn't it be funny, eh? Like, play gypsy stuff, but play it on this sort of guitar. Or even like a distorted tone. This sort of... That sort of tone. Which I can't really do too much about at 10 o'clock at night. Man, I haven't seen one of your live streams in a while, Ben. I'm sorry. The other day I was like, I'm going to make a point of trying to catch you one, and then Mia was like, I forgot my laptop. I left it at home. Can you go and get my laptop from my room and bring it to school? And I was like, ah. So there you go. Pretty song. Actually, I don't know what I'll play. See how much of this I can remember. I haven't played that in so long. Don't know why that popped into my head. I have a habit of that, like songs just arriving in my mind, and I'm like, I don't know how they got there. That's old folks, but the Pat Metheny version. So, any questions? Oh, sorry, Simon, you had a question up there. Sorry, I missed it. Do you work with a looper much? Not much, hardly at all. Really, I don't. I have done a little bit when they're really handy actually if I'm doing like workshops or clinics, because I can just kind of record a little bit and demonstrate stuff. Because the thing is, like, if I talk about like this scale or that arpeggio or anything like that, it doesn't mean much. But if I show you it in context over that chord, then you can go, oh, well, now you can actually hear what it's supposed to be doing. So I find that they're really useful for that. But most of the time I just use backing tracks and stuff, you know. But there is a looper in the Fractal, a really good looper actually. And it's fantastic having all the buttons. As you know, with the FM9, FM9 has a stack of buttons, so you can really like get into looping on one of those. And even the FM3, I've done some looping on that as well. It's less, the FM9 is much better. I have a couple of loop pedals on the ball back there. As you can see, there's a few pedals, the ones that are not on my pedal boards. But I have a Ditto looper by TC Electronic. Those are fantastic. They're like about this big. So, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, when the volume went down, someone texted me. What other loopers have I tried? I've tried some of the Boss ones. I don't particularly like them, so I don't tend to use loopers very often. No, really, I don't. I went through a phase of doing it, but I probably should. The time I do use loopers, and this is a good thing for anyone who's out doing gigs. If you turn up to a venue, play a little part on your guitar, like just whatever. Could be something like this. Just go. Hopefully more in tune than my guitarist. Here's a little part like that, recorded into your looper, and then put your guitar down and go and listen out the front and see what it sounds like. You'll probably be quite surprised. It's probably like the total opposite of what you think. Right? So I make adjustments for that, you know, like... And there's some cowboy sound people out there too. You know, there's some really good ones. I hate this. Don't buy one of these, whatever you do. I bought it just the other day. I wish the guy at Rock Shop had told me that these things suck. I was looking for a tuner. I just wanted something a little and portable, and I saw this and I was like, oh, it's got a metronome in it. That'll be cool. So it's got a tuner, right? But as you can see, it doesn't work particularly well. It's really laggy. You can plug into it. It's a little better, but it's still not great. But check this metronome out. That's full volume. My guitar unplugged is about the same volume, if not more than that. So, I wish the guy had said, those suck, don't get one of those. And I probably would have bought 2 things off him. But there you go. Have I heard of Elvis Lobo? No, I haven't. A guitarist from Goa, India. To be honest, I don't know many guitar players in India. I'd love to go to India one day. and go and meet some of the musicians there and kind of have a chat and enjoy the food. Indian food's probably my favourite food, one of my favourites. Indian and Italian food I really like. But, you know, India would be fascinating, I reckon. Colourful people, the music would be great. I love the Indian music that I've heard. But I don't know many Indian guitarists, to be honest. But one guy I do know lives in Auckland and is quite well known in India, is Warren Mendonça. If you guys don't know Warren Mendonça, Blackstrap Blues, go and check him out. We had a podcast for a little while, me and Warren, weekly thing we were doing, but it's kind of lost momentum a bit lately. And, you know, because he's been busy and off. I think he's been back to India a couple of times. But, you know, he went and did, in the last year, opened for the band Extreme and toured with them as the opening act, I believe. And he did, what else did he do? Oh, Guthrie Govan was opening for Guthrie Govan when he was over there. So, you know, because he's well known over there. It's funny, a lot of Kiwis don't even know who he is. He's friends with Warren. Rudy Welling? Is that how you say that? Great guitarist from India. Him and Warren are friends. No, I don't know him either. Like I said, the only Indian guitar player I know is Warren. He's from New Zealand. Warren and I have talked about going over there and doing some gigs. Man, I'd love that. I hope we can make it happen one day. I just want to go. I just think it'd be a fascinating place. And I love Indian food, as I mentioned. Very Steely Dan-ish type thing. It's funny how I was hitting that like that before, whereas normally it'd be more like that. Thoughts on MIDI pickups and guitars? I actually have a synth guitar floating around somewhere. One of the Roland GR units. It's got a pickup that you put in here, and it goes out with a cable to a little unit. Those are not particularly great. The latency is pretty bad. But I did use it when we were doing Dancing with the Stars, and I used it to play mostly string parts. Because it doesn't matter if they're in time, you know, strings can kind of swell in and that. So that was kind of awesome for that. I used it quite a bit on that because it was, the first season at least, there was 2 guitars. And then the second season was just me, unfortunately, which was way better when it was 2. But some of the stuff just doesn't even need guitar. Like we did the Gladiator theme for when Norm Hewitt was on the show. And Gladiator, it doesn't really even need guitar. It's like orchestra stuff, you know. So I played a lot of string parts in that. But there was a funny story I can tell you guys. I played an accordion solo. The MD had said, "Can you play this accordion solo on your guitar synth?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I did it. And so I got a sound worked out, and it was really hard because of the latency. But, you know, I kind of learnt to sort of play slightly ahead, which goes against the grain. But playing ahead meant it lined up with the band, and it came out really good. Like, it was fantastic. You can still find it on YouTube. The MD, Carl, he said, came in the following week, and he goes, he got a call from a friend of his in Australia saying, "Where the hell did you find that accordion player? I need that accordion player for a recording session tomorrow. Like, I'll fly him to Sydney to come and play a solo for me on this movie soundtrack I'm doing. I don't care what it costs. I just need that accordion player." And Carl was like, well, it kind of was an accordion. It was the guitarist, Nick, playing it on his synth guitar. And he was like, "Damn it." I was like, "Well, still come." But no, they wanted the real thing, and they just, you know, couldn't get an accordion player that could really play. But I'll show you what I'll grab a pedal. This is the pedal to get. Right, these are freaking awesome if you want to do synth sounds. No pickup needed. You just literally plug your guitar in or your bass in. Do they have a bass input? Surely it does. I think it does. I'm pretty sure yeah, there's a switch here where you can go between guitar and bass. Is that going to focus? Yeah. Anyway, you play your guitar or bass in and you get all these different sounds. There's no latency. And you don't need a pickup. You just plug it straight in and boom, you go. There is that new MXR bass synth, which you may have seen, Ben. That looks really good, but it does like a couple of sounds. But from what I've heard, they sound awesome. I heard Mike Lettieri using it the other day on something, and he had set it somehow so it was only really affecting the low strings on his baritone. It sounded awesome. But I'd go for this. You can play, this will work over. Can I? Has it got a battery in it? Probably hasn't got a battery in it. I don't know if I have a power supply. Let's have a look. Input. Oh, just. Alright, let's see if I can do it. I don't know how I'm going to hold it up in shot, but bear with me. Alright, I don't even know if this is going to work, but we will see. Can I put it somewhere over here? Alright, so what sound do I want first? Well, I'm going to use it on whatever sound it's on right now. Is that going to show? I just got the text. Can you stop for the night? It's getting late. It doesn't really work with the setup because, sorry, I can't really show you much. I'm breaking everything. I can't really show you much because the way I'm riding this amp is I've got the amp pretty loud and then I ride the volume like right back, right? But when I'm running into that synth pedal, because the volume's right back on the guitar, it doesn't get enough signal in to really work. And then, yeah, bloody headphone cables. So I can't do it without turning it up, and it's like 10:30 at night, just about, so I'm going I'll have to show you another time, but there's plenty of demos around with it, but they track really good. I'm going to have to go, folks. I've been an hour 15. I try and keep this to an hour, but hey, it's awesome that you all could join me for this. I think this is what I'm going to do Monday nights. I do a couple of lessons on a Monday night normally with some gun guitar players, young cats who are both going to be pros. And but it seems like I've been doing them Monday daytime, but I think the evenings just work better. Any quick questions that I can do once again? No worries, man. Thank you for joining me. Get that half stack out. I would if I had one. Yeah, I'm going to have to split people. I try to keep this to an hour as normal because take forever to upload and all the rest of it. But thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully everything looks okay. I'm using a different camera, as I mentioned. And I'm using an amp rather than that, which is clipping this mic a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. No, I can't move that. Oh, actually I can do that. See the mic there? I've just got it sitting on a different kind of stand and stuff, so yeah. Gave it a go. I actually think I like this setup better, so I'll do that going forward. Anyway, thank you very much. If you haven't liked and subscribed, do that because that kind of stuff helps as always, and if you've stuck to the end, you're awesome. Good to see you, Ben, here. Awesome. Go and check out Ben's channel. Go and check out Troy's channel. It's awesome that he could join the stream as well. I'm going to have some guests. Maybe you should come and be a guest on this, Ben. Why don't we do that? Benjamin Shepherd. We'll have a bit of a chat and tell stories about Tawa College. Let's do it. Anyway, I'll catch you guys soon. I'll message you, Ben.